Hello, everyone. It's time for another chapter read aloud from our book, The Oodlethunks Steg-o-Normous. So, in our last chapter, Una was getting to get out into the world with Stacy Steg, and Stacy's getting bigger and bigger, and it's causing more and more problems. And towards the end of the chapter, she was talking with her friend, and she really found out that she wishes she could find a magic recipe to keep Stacy small forever. So, chapter 2, Shrinky, Drinky, Worms, and Pinky. If Stacy needed a magic recipe, I knew where to find it. There was only one West Woggler who knew magic. She was dangerous, so that meant my plan was dangerous. I didn't tell Irma till the next afternoon at the end of school. Even then, I had to whisper it in her ear. This was top secret. Nobody else should find out. After Irma heard my plan, she turned a fearful green. Then she turned a worried yellow. Then she said, "Okay, fine, but I'm bringing my Clonket." "Me too, see?" And I shook my club. As we left Little Pete's school cave, Bonk raced up to us. "Woggle Scouts was canceled," he said. "Chief Eagles got food poisoning. Bad bison." Grrr. I knew what that meant. If Bonk's after school stuff got canceled, I was supposed to babysit him. "Looks like my baby Bother is tagging along," I told Aunt Irma. "Sorry." "Aw, Bonk's a hoot," said Irma. Whatever. Irma never saw Stinky Toes Bonk dance in her bone broth. "Where are we going?" Bonk kept asking as Irma skipped over Drag-Knuckle Bridge. "When will we be there? What are we doing?" Bonk didn't get my plan until we'd crossed Rock Basin and were skidding down, down, down into Finger Toe Bracket. Then Bonk's eyes bugged out like a dragonfly. "Oh no, there's only one thing at the end of Finger Toe Bracket, the scary witch. Old Brouhaha," he said. "She turns kids into kidberry jam." "That's only a rumor," said Irma, but her voice trembled. "Right, Un?" "Right." I had no idea, but since this was my plan, it was up to me to sound brave. Bonk and Irma stayed close on my side as we came to the vine-twisted cave of Old Brouhaha. Everyone knew about Old Brew. Her magic spells and healing recipes were legend. Grown-ups went to see her to get special herbs, roots, and potions. Kids never went because the Kidberry Jam story. But I'd risk anything for Stacy. After all, as West Woggle's great warrior Gertie Droog says, "Fear is useless." We didn't even need to yell our arrival before a gravelly voice rumbled from deep inside the cave. "I smell children. Speak up. State your business." Let's take a look back at that myth of Kidberry Jam. Kids go into cave. Kids find sparkly thing in cave. Kids fall down into the pit. Witch comes to trap them in there, and apparently they turn into Kidberry Jam once they sit in there for a long time. I don't know. "Okay," whispered Irma. "That's real." I put one shaking foot forward. "I am Una Oodlethunk." I cupped my hands as I called into the cave. "I'm the keeper of the last Stegosaurus in Woggle," finished the voice. "You are brave, Una Oodlethunk. You must need something very badly." "Yes," I gulped. "I do." "What do you have for Ganu and me? Give before you take. That's the rule." I knew about the rule from when Dad had asked Old Brew for medicine the time Bonk burned his hand, back when we all were new to fire. Dad had brought Ganu, the sloth, some teeny berries. He also gave Old Brew his fried newt fingers. Quickly, I held out my sack. I can give you 2 small pieces of shell that hatched Eggy into Stacy. Humph, let me see. When Old Brew shuffled into the light, we gasped. We'd heard plenty of stories about the Witch of West Woggle, but sometimes there's nothing quite as scary as the truth. Even hunched over, Old Brew Ha-Ha was almost as big as a T-Rex and twice as grouchy looking. She had one wonky roly-poly eye and one crooked squint eye. She wore her giant 3-toed sloth draped over her shoulders. Ganu looked grouchy too. He got happier when I gave him his teeny berries. Old Brew was next. My heart thudded as I hopped forward, dropped my sack at her feet, and bowed like Master Og had taught at intimidation tactics class. I also tried to look slightly sour, like I'd make a bad-tasting kidberry jam. When Old Brew Ha-Ha's fingers swiped my sack, we all screamed. Blech! Youngsters these days, she muttered, scared of their own shadows. We watched and waited as she poked and swirled her finger around in the sack. She is interesting looking, although the sloth looks kind of cute. Then she pulled out the eggshells and brought them close to her wonky eye to inspect. Behind me, I heard Bonk's and Irma's nervous breaths. For a few moments, the witch did nothing. Then the hairs on her chin twitched. Finally, she smiled her gummy grin. I'll take it, she cawed. Now scat. Wait, I cried. Now we want something from you. Old Brew's eyeball rolled from me to Irma to Bonk. All of you? Just me, I said. I have one wish. Spit it out. I need a potion to stop Stacy Steg from growing, I explained. If my dino gets any bigger, she'll have to leave our cave and go live in the wild. Stacy's already wild, you dum-dum, said the witch. Your wish stinks worse than my burps. She burped and blew it at us. Disgusting, Irma pinched her nose. Let's get out of here. But a witchy burp cloud didn't scare me. We can't turn Stacy loose, I said. There aren't any other dinosaurs in Woggle that can teach Stace how to be a steg. Sorry, kid. You can't have my shrinky drink potion. I'm still testing it. That trickster. Old Brew got my eggshells and I had nothing. I bared my teeth, dropped into warrior stance 1, faster than a woggle lizard, and I snatched my bag back from the witch's hand. Old Brew might be huge and mean, but she was also blind as a trilobite. Oh no, Oodlethunk, she shrieked. Give me my eggshells! Give me my shrinky drink potion. And instead, I tossed the sack to Irma, who tossed it to Bonk, who tossed it back to me. Around and around we went. Old Brew Ha-Ha clawed at us blindly. Then, with one swipe of his long sloth arm, Ganu lunged for the sack. No! He got it too! Smirking, Ganu swung up high into a prickert cone tree out of reach. I was feeling so mad that I forgot to be scared. If you won't give me my potion, I yelled, then Then I'm going in. I grabbed Bonk and Irma each by the hand, and all together we dashed deep into the witch's lair. The cave was messy and crowded, with jars and bowls of glop and crud. I pushed past the cobwebs into the darkness. "Leave my cave!" shrieked the witch, close on our tail. "I despise the smell of children. This will take days to air out." "Just tell me where the magic potion is." Old Brouhaha was fumbling for something on a high ledge. "There!" She tossed me a pouch. "Add water and pour it in Stacy's bowl. Say, shrinky, drinky, worms, and pinky. The tip of your left pinky must touch your Steg snout, while the right pinky touches the tip of her tail." Round and round they go. "If she's too big, use your brother as a pinky link." Old Brew raised a finger. "Una, be warned. There are kinks in my drink. I was not finished testing it." "Okay, thanks, Old Brouhaha." And we raced out of her awful cave. Up in the pricker cone tree, Ganu had finished his berries and fallen asleep. My sack was dangling from one of his 3 toes. I jumped and grabbed it for it as I bolted. "No, Una," yelped Bonk. "That sack's not yours. You do not want a witch as an enemy." "Una, your brother is right. Put the sack down," ordered Irma, but I couldn't. I was too full of feelings. That mean old witch had tried to trick me. Maybe Old Brew needed a taste of her own brew. Besides, she was blind. Maybe she probably hadn't even seen me nab it. "Una, Oodlethunk, come back with my eggshells," called the witch, "or face my terrifying revenge." Oops. Or maybe she had. But I'd sprinted too far away to go back now. Easy recipe for rattlesnake salad. Bowl plus ferns plus chopped up rattlesnake equals yum. That is the end of chapter 2. Stay tuned for chapter 3, Worst Plan Ever.